YouTube. Stay tuned. As always, you're first to join us here. We are going to go live for another edition of Cave Crew Radio.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this without the respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of the Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place where I get a shot and a beer, steak, man. Thinking we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on hot days?
Mr. Clement, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball! It's a power goal!
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Cave Crew Radio is the name of the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to be here again. It's Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. UK time. I don't want to say too much on the get-go. I'm here in my cave in Ontario, Canada. My name is DK. Sweltering heat again, maybe some thunderstorms coming up, yada, yada. Doesn't really matter. There is so much material to get to tonight, especially when I'm chatting with my cohorts during the pre-show. You know, you work so hard to make sure you have enough stories to cover through the show, and I don't know if we're going to get to everything. This might be a two-parter going into next week. However, I do believe the true King of Queens, Big B, is at the other end, hopefully not sleep-deprived tonight.
I am here live from New York. I am Sir Big B. And yes, I now know what it's like to go through sleep deprivation.
You must have went through sleep deprivation. I'm drinking beer again, folks. You must have went through sleep deprivation during your rock and roll days.
Well, you don't feel it as much. You're young, you're drunk, you know, you're on the go. You don't feel it as much as you do when you're an older gentleman like myself.
I always find now, and I have to agree with you because, and this is going back more than a year, that when I stay up till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning partying or whatever we're doing, it takes me a few days to recover.
Oh yeah. It's not like when we were kids, you know, in our early 20s and, you know, just partying up and you'd party every single night, you know, and it just didn't affect you after one night after another. It didn't affect you. You could wake up after 5 straight nights of partying. You wake up the next day and you're fine.
Yeah.
Now forget it. Like you said, if I'm out until forget 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, if I'm out till like 1 a.m. and I've been drinking a little too much, I'm done for the next week.
Yeah, it's we're getting old. We have to start a what do they call that? Like a geriatric show?
Geriatric show?
The geriatric show for all the seniors out there. This is the new seniors. We drink beer, we stay up all night.
Right.
No, I'm same as you though. I'm done. Like New Year's Eve, I'm always so excited when we stay home because I know I'm going to get to bed by maybe 1 o'clock.
Oh,
after the ball drops and all that shit. But if we're at a party and we're waiting for cabs and all that shit, I'm like snoozing through the bowl games.
Yeah, it's but I don't go out on New Year's Eve anymore. First of all, and you know too, like when you have really young kids, you can't really go out and do anything. So we're home anyway. So by the ball drops at midnight, by 12:10, I'm in bed. Yeah, great. The ball dropped. Wonderful. Good night. I'm done.
Do you remember the days with the kids when they were young enough? Summer vacation starts today, by the way, kids. I'm dreading this. Jake just finished school, but I remember when he was like 3 or 4, we would have New Year's Eve at like 8. Oh, Happy New Year.
We never did that. We did, like when my older son was younger, we let him stay up. If you can make it, go ahead. You can stay up till midnight. If not, no big deal. You'll see another one next year. So yeah, we let him stay up. It's if you can make it, good for you. But yeah, so I will have a story about sleep deprivation over this past weekend. But before we get to that, I do believe I hear London calling.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what I got to do?
I am chomping at the bit here.
You got to have at least a few seconds of that.
Well, give me a few seconds of the intro. I am chomping at the bit. I'm listening to Brian there, aka Big B.
Yeah.
He's done a couple of hard days graft where he's had to stay up a little bit later than normal, up a little bit later than normal, and he's crying about it. Yeah. I mean, as a young man, when I was a young man, chefing, right? I used to be in the kitchen. I was the first one in. I was the last one out, right? And I'd be cooking, sweating, stressing all day. When I'm sleeping, I was even thinking about food and have I ordered enough fucking coriander or sage or whatever it was.
Coriander or sage.
And we were doing this I was doing this on a daily basis. Sometimes I'd be in the kitchen at say like 7 a.m. right, and I'd come in, light the stoves up, and then someone would find me laying on the bench there asleep because I'd burned the candle at both ends the night before. I'd been cooking for a party of about 200 people, and then hit the pub afterwards and got so drunk that I've got.
Wait. So there's a caveat to that story then.
I'd got locked in the toilet in the train station and had to phone my father.
Of course you did.
So it wasn't like you're up the entire, almost 24 hours cooking. No, you're cooking for about 10 hours and then go get hammered for the next 8. That doesn't count.
And then get locked in a toilet and have to phone your dad to come and pick you up and unlock you out the station toilet. And then miraculously wake up at like 5 a.m. and find your way into work. I don't know how the fuck I done it, but I know one thing: I never complained about it.
Listen, I remember.
But good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tuesday Stew, and it's London calling.
Yeah, it's all London calling in the White Room. You need to zoom your camera in a little bit because we're going to ask you a little bit later what are behind you in those things hanging on the wall. Not yet, but you look like you have some interest. You have a Sharpie. You have a magic marker that's been left open, so it's obviously dry.
Oh, that.
Yeah, test that magic marker. I don't think that's going to work anymore.
No, it's fucked. It's in the bin.
Yeah, that thing's been that's in the bin. And what a lovely designer glass he has on the door of the White Room.
It really is.
Can you see all that? Can you see that?
Yes, we see it all. You got the double doors, the French doors going into your White Room, and we're very curious to what you've got on your walls. But we'll get to that later. Let's get, because I got a few questions for Choo Choo Stew, but let's first of all, and then I've got a little story. Well, I've got more than one story tonight. I've got a game for you guys tonight because I was embarrassed in public. And hi to everybody out listening, by the way. Big B, tell us about the true story of sleep over the weekend.
Well, like I said, this wasn't, we worked for a few hours and then drank the rest of the night.
You didn't have watered down booze.
I didn't have any booze.
Oh shit!
It was. It started Friday night at like 10:30. I got a message on my work phone through one of the chat programs that we use, saying that our offshore team couldn't access a certain page within our network. I ignored it for like 20 minutes. It's Friday night. I could care less. I thought it was something real stupid. So, eventually I got my computer. I go to log in. I can't get in. Everything's completely down. So I message our operations team. They get on it. And thus starts the weekend of really no sleep. Saturday night, we were up until 3:30 in the morning. Friday night into Saturday morning, we were up until 3:30 in the morning. Still can't get anything up. We're working within the servers and all this stuff. I get up. We finish at 3:30. Just call it a night. We're all falling asleep. I wake up at 7 because I have a 19-month-old child that doesn't care that I stayed up all night. So I go to sleep at 3:30-ish, wake up at 7, start working again. All the way through Saturday, up until probably 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning Saturday. Fall asleep, wake up again 7 o'clock-ish. And Sunday all night into Monday morning, we finished at 4:30 in the morning. Monday morning. I went to sleep for 2 hours, got up, and went into the office to go to work for a regular Monday workday.
Now, why would they expect you to go to work on the Monday? You think
they did not? They did not expect me to go in, but I had other things, like I had regular, work stuff that I had to do. So I just figured, screw it, let me go in, because if I stayed home, I'd fall asleep. And I have other projects that I'm working on. So I said, let me just go.
What the fuck?
That's Stu. He's giving me soap opera music. It's lovely.
So anyway, at 10:30 at night,
yeah,
you had already been into your special scotch.
I was watching the Yankee game, just relaxing on my couch, and I get a message. And like I said, I saw the message, but I didn't pay attention to it for another 20 minutes because I thought it was something small and stupid. Little did I know that 3 days later, we'd be still working on it. And it got to the point. It got to the point Sunday where I'm sure you guys have all been through this, where you're so tired you kind of fall asleep, and you're half asleep, half awake, but then you hear a voice that's like really loud, and it just jolts you like somebody's talking, like you fall asleep in a crowd. Well, I was on a call at Sunday night into Monday morning at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was on a conference call. I got my headphones in, my earbuds in, and I'm falling asleep. And it's like quiet because everybody's, typing, and, somebody will say something, every now and then, but it's fairly quiet. And suddenly somebody comes on that's really, really loud. And I got my headphones in, I'm passed out. I jumped the fuck off the couch, scared shitless that somebody had like broken into my house, because I totally forgot I was on the phone. It's oh shit! My computer comes flying because everything's connected through my headphones. My computer comes flying. I was like, oh my god, I'm this fucking tired. And then it was still another 3 hours after that.
It's like when you have that, that jungle disease, that fever. You have a fever so bad that you're so out of it, and every little noise, every little thing freaks you out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You just I couldn't at that point. Once that happened, then I was awake. Because you're jolted, you think somebody's breaking in, or you have no idea where you are, and then I was awake. Yeah,
but you're feeling better now. Are you recovered?
Basically, yeah. Finally got some sleep. Monday at work Monday, I fell asleep 2 separate times in 2 different meetings. Nobody seemed to mind because they knew what we went through over the weekend. But,
They must understand.
But I had somebody like tap me when the meeting was over, like, you can get up now. I was like, oh, okay. Another meeting later on in the afternoon. We have like a small couch in one of the conference rooms. I just sat on that and passed out.
Well deserved, I think. But that's the problem of being salary, right? Because when you're salary, you don't get any overtime.
Yeah, there's no overtime. And you know, being in like the tech department, you know, if something goes down, you have to jump on it because it was what went down was a main program for our company that we use internally. There's a lot of documentation on it and standard operating procedures and all that stuff for our offshore teams. For customer service support and all that stuff. So that's all that goes down, you know, work stops. So we had to jump on it.
But at the end of the day, what fixed it? Did someone turn it off and then on again? Or
well, that was the thing.
That's just a fucking reboot.
Yeah. Of all the things, we just didn't restart it.
Just unplug everything and plug it back in.
That was it. That's all we had to do. No, it took really a lot of work and rebuilding our entire database and slowly massaging it back up. It took a long time, but yeah. So I slept all in total this weekend. I probably slept, if I'm lucky, 5 hours.
You have the long weekend coming up though, because we have the Canada 150 on Saturday, which I'm going to go to Choo Choo Stew for in a minute. But you have July 4th, so you have some days off.
Well, July 4th's on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
so we have Tuesday off.
You're not going to take Monday as well?
No.
All right. Before we get to my little thing here, hold your forearm up. It's going to be your left one. For those watching on video, I'll explain at home. Lift your left forearm up.
Who are you speaking to?
You. Lift. You're the one.
Me?
Yeah. No. Show us the inside of your forearm. Not okay, kinda. Is that a Metal Thunder Radio tattoo?
It certainly is.
I want to get Cave Crew Radio tattoos.
Well, I think you should be the first to get one, and then we will follow.
There you go.
Like on the back of my shoulder or something.
I think you should get it done on your head.
So what would you do, Big B, if you got in a big fight with all the other fucking hosts? You shut the fuck up, Stu. Listen, I'll get to you when I need you. Listen, what would you do if the show went out of business and you started a new show? Is that like just like a diary on your fucking body or what?
Well, basically what it is these tattoos here, I don't know if you can see them. So it's meaningful in my life. Right. So all the way over here is a bass clef. So it's a musical note.
Right.
So I play bass. This right here is my old band. And the reason I have this on here is because if it wasn't for this band, I wouldn't have my family that I have now.
Okay. Cool.
Through playing with this, you know, I reconnected with my wife. I have, you know, most of the friends that I have are through this band. You know, I have my family, my kids, all because of this band.
Like that's almost like a tattoo being in a German prison camp.
Which one?
The one in the middle with your family. That's like the German prison camp.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying it means something. It's like
well, they all mean something. And then the reason I got the Metal Thunder Radio tattoo is because of this show that I created. I don't even know how many years, 2008, however long that is. I've gotten to talk to musicians that I grew up listening to, you know, from Iron Maiden and Slayer and Overkill. You know, otherwise I would have never been able to talk to them. I've become friends with some of them, and as you know, I played on one of their solo albums. So all of this, you know, almost, you know, musical kind of dream come true kind of stuff happened because of this show.
I should have tattooed my penis. Every initial of every girl and Stu, you should have tattooed your body with every time you went to prison.
So yeah, so the reason I have these is because they mean something in my life. You know, something because of these things. You know, major life events have happened for me.
Oh, you fuck off with the fucking Italian music. Ready to order some garlic bread and some pancetta.
I also have a portrait of my son too, if you're interested.
That's the baby or the older?
That's the older one.
Okay.
I gotta get the baby as well. At probably the end of this year, I'm gonna get it.
I've never noticed the tattoos. I have one tattoo that I'm not going to show. Now, Stu, do you have any tattoos like you served in the Navy or anything like that?
Well, I did serve in the Navy, and I got my first tattoo when I joined the Navy. We had a break during the basic training, and they told us a few rules what you shouldn't do when you're on break during the basic training. And one of them was to get a tattoo. So I went and got a tattoo.
Is it on your ass?
It's not, no.
Okay. I thought, well, knowing you do something really silly.
Not that one. No, I wasn't silly. I was silly by getting it done anyway, you know. But I have got a couple of tattoos, yeah.
What did you get when you went on leave?
Well, I got like it's only small. It's like a sort of a panther's head or something like that, and it's meant to say
gonorrhea. That's what he got. He got gonorrhea.
Well, the first one I ever had done was meant to say stew written down the side, and you can't even read it, but it's a panther's head and it's quite small and it's there. But I did actually go to get it covered over a couple of years ago, and I was going to have like a guitar put over it and this, that, and the other. And the guy done a really good design, but it was so big that it frightened me. The size, it was going to take up the whole top of my arm. So the guy had drawn it out and everything and showed me. But then a couple of years later, I did go to a different tattooist and have another tattoo done.
Since we're being honest, I don't know if I can get this into the camera. I have a you see that? I don't know how to move into the camera. That's a marijuana leaf I got when I was 17 years old.
You was fucking brave there, weren't you?
I was stoned out of my fucking head. And I got a who else has a fucking marijuana leaf? Now, thank God it's legal now. And I barely if ever touch it anymore. But when I was that age, hockey and marijuana was my life, and chips and candy. All right, listen, we're moving quick here tonight. I'm watching this clock, and there's so many things I want to get to. All right, so my wife is on the board of the local hockey association, and you all know that I coach hockey, and so I sent you and Stu this email. Apparently, I need to take a mandatory course. Now, keep in mind, folks, I coach children from the ages of probably, and we start this Sunday, we start our hockey school. So I think they're ages 5 to, I would say 14 max, because once they get to like 13, 14, then we move them in to be coaches and stuff like that. There is a new mandatory initiative. And listen to the words that these professional people use. It has come down from Hockey Canada. So this is from the highest board of director of all of hockey here in Canada. All, and this is in parentheses, team officials take the free, in brackets, it's free, online gender identity and expression course. Now get this. It's a 2-module course that's going to take approximately 90 minutes from start to finish. I'm going to read what she said. All officials, referees, coaches, assistant coaches, trainers, managers, everyone has to take this thing. I'm speechless. I need help. I need advice. I'm going to take it, obviously, because
from ages 5 to what?
Well, I coach ages 5 to, like, say 14, 15 max. They're children.
Right.
I'm not coaching adults. I'm not coaching what's his name, Jenner. You know, and let me be perfectly clear with this, ladies and gentlemen. I have to be perfectly clear. I like girls. And I truly hope that my son likes girls. I have no problem with lesbians and gays, and I'm sure they're surrounded with us. I'm sure a lot of these girls that play the game may not like boys. They might think
have a problem with gays and thingy.
I don't have a problem with that.
Because
the problem I have is with this gender identification shit, where we have to build new dressing rooms. They have to have their own. So I said to my wife on the way home when she's reading me this email, I said, so if the girl identifies herself as a male, is she going to be in the dressing room with my son in her thong and you know, no bra on? I'm just trying to make this make sense, because it doesn't to me. It never has.
My daughter has got friends at school who are gender neutral.
There's no such thing.
No,
I know there's not, but she has got.
You're a boy that likes a girl. You're a boy that likes a boy, or you're a girl that likes a girl. And I got no problem, because look, the more guys that are gay makes it a lot easier for me to get laid when I go to the fucking bar.
It doesn't make it any easier for you, DK.
But this
I can assure you.
Stu's in rare form tonight.
You can tell he's on fucking vacation.
You see the video he posted up where he was lip syncing a song?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, you have to look up his profile and watch the video later on. So I mean,
advice on this. So, like,
and here's the thing:
am I the only one that's truly troubled about this?
And no, it's fucking ridiculous, because you're talking about children. Now, children, you know, if you're even the, you know, and what that's including is the prepubescent children who have no idea what sexuality is. They don't know whether they like boys, girls, or what. They just want to go play and have fun. They have no fucking idea about being transgender or this or that. It doesn't matter to them. They don't know about it. What they're trying to do is force it upon these kids, and you're making them grow up way too fast. First of all, you're forcing sexuality on them at an extremely young age, which is dangerous, because they're going to get a very distorted sense of sexuality. And when they get older, it's going to have a lot of downstream effects on their personality and their mentality.
And listen, I don't want anybody getting the shit kicked out of them, or, you know, because of why they think or what they, but gender identity and expression. Like, should I show up and wear a dress? Like,
no,
look, I'm a male. I like to cook. I like to garden, but I still like sports, and I still like to fuck my wife. Like,
right. You know, I don't care if you're
probably gender sensitive habits about us.
You know, like you said, I don't care if you're gay or straight. I don't give a shit. And the reality of being transgender is it's a very rare thing. In all reality, in biology, it's a very rare thing. Now, I worked with somebody who was a dude. He was 6'2", fucking big black dude, who became a woman. But he was troubled for years mentally, and it wore on him, because that's, for whatever reason, his internal wiring, that's how he felt. He felt more of a woman. I don't understand it, because I don't feel that way. But, you know, he did, and he was troubled by it for many years. And so finally he just, you know, came to grips with himself and started with the whole transformation, you know, taking the hormones and stuff. I don't know if he I lost contact with him. I don't know if he went the surgery route, to make the full transition. But my point is, it's very rare, right? It's not something that 1 in every 2 fucking people are going to be transgendered.
Right.
So the way they're pushing all of this on you and everybody else makes it seem like half the population is going to be transgendered, and we have to be sensitive to that. Yes, you have to be sensitive to it, because those people, and I've seen it, those people that go through that are very troubled and very almost ashamed at some point.
They're not troubled. A lot of these people aren't troubled. It's just the way they are. And
no, they're troubled by the way they feel. Until they come to grips with their own reality, they are troubled by it.
The word troubled comes from people like you who don't accept them, I have to say.
You're talking to now a guy who dresses up like a woman.
That's true. It's Choo Choo Sue. We have to be sensitive to Choo Choo Sue.
We have our own. Yeah, we need to affiliate a course for the 1,700 members in.
While we get this attitude of like Big B has got, then things are going to stay like the way they are. It's just not fair for these people. We have to accept them.
And I'm probably going serious here, and I don't like to go serious. We're going to take an allotment break here in a second, folks. But
we need allotment news.
Here's where I'm getting serious about things. We still are dealing majorly with bullying. And I don't know if it's ever going to be put to sleep. But there are bullies inside of every dressing room, every field, every school, every classroom, every workplace. There are bullies. We haven't put that to sleep yet. That is a major deal. We're dealing with the
okay, there's always been bullying, yeah, and
I don't think it's a big enough issue that we need to address this, that it becomes part of my certification to teach the game of hockey.
No, but
I get, and especially
driving a train,
and especially when you're talking about children who are prepubescent, who don't know sexuality to begin with.
No, that's true. You shouldn't be teaching that. But there's always been bullying. It's a part of life. There's bullying when you're at school, when you start work. You think, yeah, I'll start work, and there's no bullying. And there's bullying, and you either stand up to the bullies or you don't stand up to the bullies, and you get bullied. And when I started work, I got someone tried to bully me right from the word go, and I fought back, and that's it. And when I was like 16-year-old young guy, apprentice in the kitchen, getting bullied by a 21-year-old bloke, as soon as I got chased around the fucking whole hotel by this guy. Literally, like I was running around the hotel and corridors and stuff like that. And I thought, and I stopped and I fucking smacked him in the mouth.
Wait a minute.
The bullying stopped. The bullying stopped just like that.
We need to take a break, but you had a guy in cook school.
No, not in cook school, in a hotel. I went straight into work when I finished school. I got an apprenticeship and I worked in like a 700-room hotel in London. And
where did you meet this guy? Let's call him Bruno.
In the kitchen. And he started bullying me. It's like happened for about 2 weeks, and it stopped after that. And he literally chased me around. There was a few guys wanted to get me to do something or other. I don't know whether they were going to dunk me in a fucking pot of shit or whatever.
So here, baby, is Choo Choo Stew in his culinary early days, running around a hotel being chased by a bunch of what do they call them? Preps.
No, I was being chased by a few chefs because I think they wanted to dunk me. We used to chuck all the shit into this big wheelie bin thing, It's like a big trash can or whatever you call it. But
right. Where you get your furniture from,
all the pig feed and stuff like that.
Yeah,
all the pig feed used to go. They wanted to throw me into it.
What kind of restaurant did you work at?
And I wasn't having that. Well,
I guess I wouldn't want to go swimming in pig feet either.
Hence, I was running for about 10 minutes before.
For the hotel, were there any guests like coming back from the pool or the sauna, and they're like watching a bunch of chefs running up and down the floors of the hotel?
I don't know. At that time, I was really worried and like I was panicking. But you know, they say it's like a flight or fight or whatever. But I did fly. But then I stopped and I thought, no, fuck you. And this guy was a big guy, and I just whacked him as hard as I could. I didn't knock him out or anything like that because I was a slight little, nothing much more than a little boy.
What was it? Was
the guy stopped? And
was it a slap or was it a punch?
No, I punched him.
I can just imagine Stu.
And he never gave me shit after that day. And from that moment I punched him, the whole atmosphere stopped and we all walked back and he said, yeah, all right, fair play. And I never got bullied again.
No, they say when you stand up to a bully, you never get touched again.
No, I never got touched again.
All right, listen, let's take a very fast break here. I got to grab another beer. We have so much to cover, folks. I don't know how many stories we're going to get to tonight because there's still a lot of shit to go on. But let's take a very quick break. And we have an old classic prank call we'll play for you, and we'll come back and we'll do the allotment challenge. And Stu's got his own rendition of the Burning Man, and I just can't wait to hear all this shit. Anyway, we'll be back. Cave Crew Radio, live every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, only on cavecrewradio.com. Don't forget to check out the live YouTube feed, also available on demand on iTunes and Stitcher, wherever good podcasts are found. Cave Crew Radio at cavecrewradio.com.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
What do you need?
My brother's going to come down today. He's going to make a big order, okay?
What did he want?
Just take down his name because it's a very, very big order. Do you have a pen handy?
Go ahead.
His name is Miter.
What is it, Miter?
It's spelled Mitur, and his last name is Binesderty.
My turban is dirty?
Your turban is dirty?
You motherfucker. Chicken, can I help you?
Hello?
Yes, what can I get for you?
Yeah, is your chicken fresh?
It's fresh. How many pieces you need?
Is your buffalo wing sauce spicy?
Yes, it's spicy. What do you want?
Yeah, is your turban dirty?
Your mother is dirty, you piece of Chicken, how can I help you?
Hello?
What do you need?
Is Mike there?
Mike who?
Mike Turban is dirty?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good morning. Thank you, please. Your telephone is ringing, please.
Okay, we're back. All right. Where do we go from here? Stu. Stu, are you there?
I'm there.
Okay. So I was telling everyone before the show that Saturday, we were talking with Big B. Tuesday is July the 4th, which is the big American holiday. And I was telling Stu that July the 1st is Canada's 150th anniversary, or whatever you want to call it, since we've been a country. And, we might get some fireworks and, I have some shit going on and whatnot. And then, Stu, you proceeded to tell me a story about some guy that burned the Parliament buildings. And I think this is a worthy story and what you used to do on November 5th, if I remember the date correctly.
That's right, yeah. It's not what we used to do, what we do every year. On November the 5th, Guy Fawkes, and it's now become Guy Fawkes Night, was a member of the gunpowder plot, apparently, because we do this sort of thing and we don't realise why. So I'm actually looking on Wikipedia. So he was arrested while guarded explosives that plotters had placed beneath the House of Lords. So basically, the Houses of Parliament were going to be blown up on that night, and it was a failed attempt. So, ever since then, on November the 5th, we have a Guy Fawkes night where we have fireworks and a bonfire. And
but that's not all that you told me. You told me that you dressed up like mannequins or scarecrows and collected money.
Yeah. So as a kid, we would make a little mannequin, or we'd basically make a guy. That was what we known it as. And you'd, get an old pair of trousers, an old jacket, and a football for a head, and you'd make a Guy Fawkes, a mannequin of a Guy Fawkes, and you would sit it down the sort of local shops or whatever. And as people walk past, you would say penny for the guy. And people don't really do it this much these days. I must admit, I used to make a killing on it. And you'd say penny for the guy, and everyone would throw you a couple of pence, 10, 5, 10, 20 pence or whatever it was.
A football for a head.
Well, or whatever, it probably wasn't even that elaborate in those days. It was like, a load of stuffed newspaper or whatever stuffed inside a hat. But
so you built this guy, you collected money, and then you burned him.
Well, you would burn him. You'd put the guy on top of the fire, on top of your bonfire.
Where do you set the bonfire? I'm confused.
Well,
you're confused.
I'm talking back in the days when I was a kid. Most houses would have their own bonfire, or you would go to like a Guy Fawkes party, and they still have them now, where you'd have the fireworks, you'd have a bonfire, and you would sit a guy on top of the bonfire. And
so this would be in somebody's backyard?
Yeah, for sure.
Is this kind of along the lines of London bridges falling down? Is it that kind of a tradition, or?
Well, it's a nationwide tradition. We all do it here. But the thing is, as time goes by, I'm talking back in like late 70s, early 80s, when I was, between 10 and sort of 15 years old. Everyone used to do it. Nowadays, it's just like an advert in the paper. Yeah, Guy Fawkes night or firework. They don't even call it that. Firework display. So the origin of it gets lost.
So has it got to the point where the police like crack down on your bonfires in your backyard, and you can only just go to like Big Ben to watch the fireworks, whatever, is it that type of thing? What's going on?
No, it hasn't been cracked down on, and most people, or a lot of people, do have their firework displays in their back garden. But
all for this Guy Fuck Day.
Not so many people have the bonfire these days.
Now, over the years, approximately how many people have burned their houses down with their bonfires?
No, it doesn't happen really. Although the fireworks, they say when you got everywhere sells fireworks, and when you read the actual instructions on the fireworks, it says do not light 25 meters or less away from your house. Now, most people in London, their gardens aren't 25 meters long.
So these fireworks are going on in your garden.
Yeah.
Why don't you do it at the allotment?
Well, we would. We'd
build a giant Guy Fuck and burn them in the center of plot number. I don't know what's in the middle. 35.
Yeah, you could use all the black stuff, and set your bonfire up and put your scarecrow in that you.
Yeah, exactly. And the potatoes, throw your potatoes in.
Oh, yeah, in the tin foil.
I'm going to actually suggest it this year. And in fact, I'm going to suggest it and enforce it.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to
enforce it until you get on the board of the allotment.
I'm going to just go vigilante and just tell people it's happening.
You know what you should do? You should go in that Vietnamese lady's garden and lawnmower her beans. Just go crazy. So November 5th, Stu, we are expecting a Facebook Live.
Absolutely.
For Guy Fuck Day. And he did what? What did he try to burn the Parliament building down with?
With gunpowder, hence the fireworks.
No, but what was he obviously wasn't successful because the Parliament still lives today.
Yeah. But it was meant to be like with gunpowder, so which is in the fireworks.
And what year was this supposed to have happened?
Fuck's sakes.
I think it was 18. Its history begins with the events of 5th of November, 1605.
Well, 1605.
Yeah, that was before Canada was even born and places, you know.
It was before the U.S. was born as well.
Yeah. We were burning fireworks, man, before you was there. Yeah.
I wonder everybody ran from the fuck, jumped on the Titanic and said, who cares about the fucking iceberg?
And have you got Pope Day over there?
Do we have what?
What?
Like settlers exported Guy Fawkes Night to overseas colonies, including some North America, where it's known as Pope Day.
We don't have Pope Day.
No, we don't have Pope Day either.
Those festivals died out, apparently, with onset of American Revolution.
I've never heard of guy. Look, I heard about that guy in the States, Big B, who yelled, "The British are coming."
Oh, Paul Revere.
Yes, I've heard of him, and I heard about the guy that lightning struck the key.
Ben Franklin.
Yes. And I know a lot about Canadian history, obviously, because I'm Canadian, but I've never heard of Guy Fuck.
This is the first I've ever hearing about this.
It's Guy Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes.
Well, whatever he does. He obviously he wasn't fucking that night because he was too busy with his gunpowder trying to blow up Parliament. and in those days,
and this was 1605.
Yeah.
Well, in those days, they used to have the guns where they used to have to pound the gunpowder down. Like, what did he do? Take one? Like one little ball at Parliament building? There was a spark, and all of a sudden, the guy's got scarecrows named after him.
Well, no. Here's my question, because this was apparently in 1605. They didn't have guns in 1605.
Well, Wikipedia. I don't know the total.
Well, there's a reliable source right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that, and I'm not a great historian. You know, I'm Choo Choo Stew.
We're trying to learn about Guy Fawkes.
Give me a break. But I will. What I can tell you is you'll get a Facebook Live. November 5th. I can't tell you about previous November 5ths. All I can tell you is Guy Fawkes Night is about the guy, penny for the guy, and fireworks. And a potato.
Was his name really Guy?
Guy.
Was
Guy.
There's a guy named Fawkes. Like,
no, his name's Guy Fawkes.
His name was Guy, like Guy.
Yeah.
That wasn't his. I don't know what's stupid.
All right, so I just typed in November 5th. That's all I typed in Google. The very first entry is Guy Fawkes Night Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Really? I see. I've never heard of Guy Fawkes.
I've never heard of it either. Let's see.
We need to learn a little bit about Guy Fawkes, because in Arizona, Big B, you have the Burning Man every year, where they go and they burn that giant statue and everyone's on those inebriating drugs and.
But he's not in Arizona, is he?
No, he's in fucking England. November 5th. It's fucking snowing here on November 5th. We ain't doing no fireworks.
Well, ours sometimes gets called off because of rain.
So who is the person, like, who is the Burgermeister or whoever it is that actually walks out into the streets and rings the bell and says, Guy Fawkes Night is canceled this year?
sometimes it is.
Yeah, but who is in charge of calling off it? Is it the Queen? Is it the Prime
I think it's the
Minister?
local government. I think last year ours was called off last year because of bad weather.
So do you like have like tornado sirens or bomb shelter sirens going off? Woo, woo, woo. Guy Fawkes night canceled. No fireworks. No throwing mannequins in the fire.
No, it's I mean,
or do they like announce it on the BBC like a fucking Amber Alert? Like that's.
I can tell you something about Guy Fawkes night, which was we used to go to my uncle's house. It was like a religion. So we'd always go to my uncle's house. He had like an old-fashioned sort of fire and cooker outside, cast iron cooker in his back garden. And he would always put his jacket potatoes there in the foil. And that was the first time I ever got drunk. I think I was about 12 or 13 years old. And yeah, we used to go there every year. And hopefully my uncle would be there and be sober enough to join us. And yeah.
So basically what it is it's the rebellion that never took seed.
It took seed because we're still talking about it now. And
well, I realize that it's like the guy on death row that like kills two people and goes down in infamy because we give him the gratitude of it. But so this guy, he went to blow up Parliament, and he's like he's bigger than the Pied Piper. He's bigger than Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy.
So let me read you the first paragraph of the Guy Fawkes Night Wikipedia. It says Guy Fawkes Night, also known as Guy Fawkes Day, or Bonfire Night and Firework Night, is an annual commemoration observed on 5 November, primarily in Great Britain. Its history with the events of 5 November 1605, when Guy Fawkes, a member of the Gunpowder Plot, was arrested while guarding explosives the plotters had placed beneath the House of Lords, celebrating the fact that King James I had survived the attempt on his life. People lit bonfires around London, and months later, the introduction of the observance of the 5th November Act enforced an annual public day of Thanksgiving for the plot's failure. So people lit fires because the king survived. I don't get that.
And what did you say? He buried it under the what?
It was placed beneath the House of Lords.
The House of Lords. Please explain, Stu.
Yeah.
No, yeah. What the fuck is the House of Lords?
Well, the House of Lords is part of the House of Parliament. They all reside there. You know this place, you know where Big Ben is, yeah? St. Stephen's Tower.
Yeah.
So underneath that, you've got the House of Parliament. So
underneath
in that resides the House of Lords, House of Parliament.
Wait a minute.
Yada, yada.
Wait.
Okay, wait.
You have to remember I'm Canadian and he's American. So underneath the clock is the House of Lords.
Yeah, part of that whole structure is what I can envisage is House of Parliament. Yeah.
So let me
Thames, and inside there you've got the House of Lords, which is like a chamber. It's like it's one of their places, you know.
All right, so I pulled up the Wikipedia page of the House of Lords, and again I'll read you the first paragraph, and apparently the official name of it is really fucking long. So let me just tell you, the House of Lords of the United Kingdom, referred to ceremonially as the House of Peers, is the upper house of the Parliament of the United Kingdom. Like the House of Commons, it meets in the Palace of Westminster. Now here comes the name. Okay, the official name. Officially, the full name of the house is the Right Honorable the Lords Spiritual and Temporal of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland in Parliament assembled. I swear to God, that is the name of the house.
What's the problem?
Is this when Northern Ireland and the Black and Tans finally made love and made up? Is this what?
I don't know. I don't know about all that making love and making up, but
Guy Fawkes.
What's with the fucking name? The Right Honourable the Lord Spiritual and Temporal of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland in Parliament assembled.
Yeah.
Who the fuck came up with that name?
What's wrong with that?
And who the fuck goes in that room?
That's a 3-line sentence.
Yeah.
Does anyone actually use that room, Stu?
Yeah, they use it. Yeah.
For what?
Fine. It's House of Lords. House of Lords, House of Parliament. The Lords, they're all like fucking. They're unelected people. You know, they're in the House of Parliament 1 minute.
Show up. I'm not elected. I show up into the House of Lords, and this is where you grieve your bitches to the Queen and the Prime Minister.
I think it gets so complicated for us people that we don't know what's happening there at all. You know.
Well, you know what? That just explains generally.
I mean, when you've got people that sort of like basically serve time in prison, and because they're famous authors turn some kind of politician.
Wait a minute. Is it a dungeon or is it a place where the members of Parliament go and gather?
Yeah, they gather there.
Who? The prisoners or the lords?
The lords. But some of the lords are ex-prisoners. They're ex-convicts.
Do they still gather there to this day?
They do, yeah.
Is it part of changing of the guards?
Not really. No. Although I'm sure they could stop that if they wanted to.
It says here the membership of the House of Lords is drawn from the peerage and is made up of Lords Spiritual and Lords Temporal. The Lords Spiritual are 26 bishops in the established Church of England. Of the Lords Temporal, the majority are life peers who are appointed by the monarch on the advice of the Prime Minister or the advice of the House of Lords Appointments Commission. How the fuck do you get in?
This is more confusing than Thundercats.
Holy Christ.
I don't know. I think we need a sideshow. But
So
anyway,
this fuck guy, he all of a sudden decided he wanted to blow up all these bishops and other guys that creep beneath Big Ben.
Yeah.
The giant clock.
But this is all out of context because November the 5th, that's when Guy Fawkes night is.
Yes, we heard that earlier.
We're premature.
What do you mean we're premature? That's not when it happened.
Yeah, but we're in June.
I realize that, but those of us in the Western Hemisphere have never heard of Guy Fawkes before, and this is more interesting than Paul Bunyan.
And what Stu said before about it made its way to North America. Apparently it did, but it died out at the American Revolution.
These two women in the chat are tearing us up right now because of our ignorance to English.
Got Mama Kate in the chat and Mrs. Cotter in the chat.
Yeah, they
should both be on the show live. Both of those
What's
two.
Mama Kate doing in the chat? She was summoned to the High Court of Urine Stanjali.
Right.
Exactly.
Mama Kate,
and she's there chatting.
you need
I don't understand it.
You need to be live on the show next week. I will send you the link because we still have to settle that Twitter thing. And Mrs. Cotter has been on the show. And I think we should dedicate a show to English folklore. And now Stu has diarrhea or something because he's ran out of the room and it's his segment. Yeah, that's great, eh? Just, get up from the microphone, Stu. It's fucking 3 o'clock in the morning over there. Guy Fawkes. Anyway, I had another question to ask.
I've never heard of this.
Me either. This is absolutely. This is like leprechauns and druids and the guy that pulled the sword out of the stone. This is not real.
Oh my God. I swear to God, you type in November 5th in Google and it's the first thing that comes up. I sent you the link in our chat.
Well, I'm going to read
Facebook.
I will. Guy Fawkes. I never heard of him. I heard about Robin Hood. I've heard about King Arthur. Monty Python.
So a little more about November 5th.
No, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Well, no, not Guy Fawkes. The holidays and observances of November 5th are Guy Fawkes Night, the West Country Carnival, and Kankakadasa Janeth. I don't know what the fuck that is, but there's something there.
So basically, what the equivalent is, he tried to do a terrorist act. It's like having the annual 9/11 festival.
But what I don't get is so they celebrated that the king survived, even though nothing actually happened. They celebrated that the king survived by lighting things on fire.
Right. I'm thinking
how was that celebrating?
They want to burn the king's ass, basically.
But they were happy that he won. That he survived.
I don't know. These are the same people that believe in fire-breathing dragons, for fuck's sakes.
That is true. All right, good point taken.
All right, Stu, before I go into my game, is Stu back?
Stu is back.
All right, Stu, there was a story, and I know you covered it on the Jason Marshall show. We don't have cookies.com, but we think it's worthy. I'm just dying to know what is in those things behind his back, but we'll do that later. He's like Mr. Dress Up, man. He's got more toys than Sesame Street.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's right to your right. There's a black thing hanging on the wall with all kinds of magic markers and scissors, and I don't know what that thing is, a saw that you cut up the people that you kill. Oh, measuring tape. Yeah, you're still the same size, Stu. Anyway, tell us about the guy in England who was going to the pub, because this is a very worthy Cave Crew story.
Yeah, and it just shows the true British, what the true British gentleman is like. So there's a guy, he's gone out for a couple of beers, and he's took a stroll down to his local town, and he's walking across the road, happy as Larry, and all of a sudden the number 17 bus comes along. I think it was number 17. And this guy, whoever was driving it, is fallen asleep or whatever he's done. He's not concentrating. And he's just gone straight into this guy who's crossing the road. And he must have been doing about sort of 15, 20 miles an hour, I'd imagine. And the guy has gone flying. And it just so happened this guy was on his way to the bar. And where the guy landed after being hit by the bus after about 20 meters in the air, he's landed outside his pub or the bar where he was going.
He went right through the fucking windshield.
Well, he hit the windshield and the windshield broke. So I mean, it wasn't just a tap. The bus hit him, and the guy flew through the air. It wasn't. It was no just slight sudden tap. It was like a big force. It hit him. He smashed the windscreen, and the guy flew through the air. So this English gentleman, what did he do? He got up, he brushed himself down, had a look round, and he saw he was outside the pub, and he walked in and brought a beer.
There's a whole video on this, Big B, and the guy is literally throwing through the windshield of a double-decker bus. He gets up like there's no tomorrow, like it's November 5th, and he wakes up and he walks right into the pub. He doesn't report the bus.
I mean, can you imagine? All I can say is that he was on his way to a pub from a pub. I would imagine he'd had a couple of pints beforehand, because otherwise that would hurt. It must have numbed the pain a little bit.
Yeah, he had to have been a bit rubbery from alcohol.
Yeah.
Big B, he went right through the fucking windshield.
He didn't go through it.
This is not a little love tap. The guy flew into the front of the bus. The glass shattered everywhere. He stood up and went for another fucking pint. Never mind November 5th. What is the date of this article?
No, why wasn't it reported as a terrorism act? That's what I want to know.
Because the bus was probably doing it. The guy was probably in such a hurry to get over and get his, bitty pie and a pint of Guinness, walk right in front of the, but he went right through the windshield. Hollywood doesn't do it this good.
So I'm assuming that, emergency medical personnel eventually showed up and checked him out.
No, he ran into the pub.
Yes, but did he run out immediately afterwards? I'm assuming, EMS came while he was in the pub and, checked him out.
I'd assuming after he's seen this video, the guy's got a hell of a lot of medical problems.
I would assume.
And he will be suing appropriately.
Anyway, folks, you have to Google it. English guy gets hit by double-decker bus. And he goes through the window like Spider-Man wouldn't have got up that quick. And he bounced right back up and he runs into the pub. It's really an amazing.
The man has priorities.
Yeah. He prioritized his injuries and thinking.
That's right. Ruptured spleen, broken legs, beer. Okay, beer first. Yes, of course.
Yeah. The ambulance is going to come. They might as well go into the bar.
You might as well have a drink while they wait. They don't come immediately. They take a few minutes. Have a drink.
Yeah.
Stu, you need to summons this guy to come on the show. Like, seriously. He's our type of guy.
We get him on.
I've fallen from heights. I've been so drunk that I've tripped on a staircase. I have never been thrown through a windshield, but the determination of the guy, just the sheer determination that this is my only night to drink. The bitch is at work. I'm not fucking going to the hospital until tomorrow.
That's right. What goes on in his life that this is it. He has to drink. Nothing is stopping him from drinking.
He's standing at the bar telling him he'll have the usual prying glass out of his biceps.
That's right.
All right, Stu, before we go too far from you, you also on the Cave Crew Radio Facebook group found us a replacement for the fidget spinner. I'll put it up on the screen here. What the fuck is that?
Hold up.
Stu?
Oh yeah. Well,
Okay.
this is
I'll fill in for you because I'm ready. This is a dangerous toothpick crossbow.
Isn't that amazing though? Isn't that fantastic?
And they're asking if this could be the new fidget spinner because the fidget spinner came. I could have so much fun with that fucking thing.
I would
imagine
love
when you
to
was
own
at
one
school
of these
with
things.
that, or you're sitting on a train and someone's on the phone shouting out, or like having a conversation out loud. You could just sort of discreetly take that out. No one would ever know where it came from, would they?
The new toy is available online and in shops and sell for as little as 7 yuan. So Shanghai is where this comes from. Well, you know what? And these made in China toys are the best because the thing's going to backfire and shoot you in the fucking eyeball. I need producer Al, find us these. We want to order 5 or 10 of these things.
Absolutely. I need one.
This is what from BBC. So does your son have one, Stu?
No one's mentioned it, to be honest. I can imagine I'll be getting an email from the school.
Like, look at the construction of this thing. It's
on eBay actually for one. I meant to do it earlier, but
yeah, Stu. If you, by the way, folks, we have care packages that we're trying to put together, and for a $10 donation, you can enter yourself in the draw, and Big B and I will each get a care package from London, England. And look at how far that fucking wood pierced in the apple. Could you imagine hitting your wife in the ass with that? That would be fun. Or your husband. For we have some women out there in the chat room tonight as well. But could you imagine how much fun that would be? Or getting your kid out of bed to go to school. I know school's over now for the year, but can you imagine? Just fucking take out your little miniature crossbow and fire the kid right in the ass. Just like a tuberculosis shot.
Sure.
Ow, what'd you do that for? I asked you nicely 3 times to wake up.
That wouldn't wake a teenager up.
Or your wife. You roll her over on her side and you get really close. Like, see this guy taking the picture of that apple. He's within 2 inches. So you got to get like almost dead close up, and then and you shoot your wife in the ass and go, your mom's on the phone. You know, I don't know. You come up with the weirdest shit. All right, you guys want to play a game out there? I know we got a pretty healthy chat room. I gotta give you a little bit of a preview to the story. I gotta look up my answers because to me they all look the same. So hang on. All right, here's the game, and here's what happened to me in Canada. This is not as exciting as November 5th. We have a thing in my city that is called Carousel of Nations. Okay. And what it is every group puts on. So there's a Serbian one, there's a German one, there's an Italian one, there's a Bavarian one, a Caribbean one. So we went to the Bavarian one, which was really cool. They had like the pork. What do they do? It's like German. Bavarian's like German. Then we went to the Caribbean one. They had the really cool rum punch. They were playing reggae. And we ended up at the Scottish one. Had some fish and chips. And, of course, we're having a drink or two along the way. And the bagpipes came in and played. And we had this huge table. And I think there was about 6 or 7 of us there. But there were still some more seats. And these people came up. And I said to my son, I said, let the Chinese people sit down. And I and it hurt my feelings, and I really felt bad after. And they said, we're not Chinese. Really? Well, let's spin the wheel of fate here.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I've got 5 pictures, folks. I've got 5 pictures. And the only reason I'm playing this game is to prove myself right. One is Japanese, one is Chinese, one is Filipino, one is Vietnamese, and one is Korean. And all you people in the chat room can vote, and we'll vote as well. And I've written down because I'd forget which is which.
Is there a Somalian in there?
No. This is an Oriental challenge. So I'm going to go to a file here. I know it's the Apple right now. I'm going to go to number 2. And I'm going to ask you guys what strain, I don't mean to say it like that, but what lineage of Oriental is this? Big B. Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Filipino, Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
Okay, so Vietnamese is the vote. Stu?
It's Korean.
Korean.
100%, yeah, Korean.
See if we got anything in the chat. Nothing in the chat yet. So I'm going to pull this back up, show you how easy this game is. This fellow is Japanese. Okay.
You figure I should know that, right? Because I work for a Japanese company.
I'm only trying to prove to you.
Alfred is Filipino.
How hard this is. No. This guy was Japanese. Now, Hang on. I got to look the number here.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which guy is this? And folks, if you're listening on audio, over on Cave Crew Radio TV on YouTube and on the webpage as all the videos, cavecrewradio.com. I'm just trying to prove how easily I would get confused. What is this, Stu?
Give me the choice again.
Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, Filipino. I forgot what this is.
That one's Filipino.
Okay, and Big B?
Korean.
So Big B has actually got one right. Number 2 here is Korean.
Okay.
So basically 1 out of 4 guesses so far. All right, let's go to the next one here. What is this gentleman's heritage?
Filipino.
Okay. Did I label these?
Did you label them? I don't know.
Okay, Stu, what do you say?
I'd say it's Filipino.
Okay, Filipino's correct. The tan probably gives it away, right?
No, I don't look at people's color.
Okay. Let's go one more here. Here's last one. Which is this?
I'm going to go Chinese on that one.
Vietnamese.
Okay, so Chinese is the right answer.
I was debating between Chinese and Vietnamese.
But can I clarify why I wanted to play this game? What term should have I used? Jake, let the Oriental people sit down. Jake, let the people sit down. Maybe I should have been gender neutral on the whole thing. I didn't mean to say give the Chinese people chairs. I was being nice. I did not know they're Chinese. I can't tell the fucking difference between any of these 5, except maybe the Filipinos have a better tan.
I think, why should you mention their nationality?
Well, I had a few beers in me. I wasn't doing it to be, mean or arrogant. I just looked over.
Just let the people sit down, yeah?
Look like Chinese people.
I'm playing devil's advocate because that's what my kids would say. I would say let them sit down. Let them sit down.
And if I would have called them Asian chat room, they probably would have got mad at me. They probably would have said they were born in New York City. Let the white guy sit. Hello, look at the nice white people. Look, I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to show you a Bavarian, an Irishman, an Englishman, and a fucking Italian. And you know
I'm going to do coloreds.
I'm going to show you a Somalian.
Stu brought this back to 1952.
Let the
coloreds show them coloreds over there.
Where's the coloreds from? Yeah.
Oh my God!
DK's having a drink.
The whole thing of this, the whole thing of this, though, folks, was I was trying to give them a seat at the table. I was not trying to be prejudiced. I was offering them a chair to sit down and listen to the bagpipes play. And I made a mistake, and I called them fucking Chinese people. But it goes to show you that not one of you can fucking tell the difference. What should have I said? Jake, Camelot Rouge, salute. Let them sit. Tora. Here comes Godzilla. I don't know. By the way,
look, the VC are here. VC are here.
Yes, and by the way, ma'am, the fish has been cooked.
We're not racist. Let the colors sit down.
Not at all. I didn't mean to be. This is the whole thing I'm trying to prove. I don't know why Chinese was. It's because, look, if you're playing the fucking lottery, you want to bet on the numbers. There's what, 8 billion of them? Chances are they're Chinese.
No. Mrs. Cotter says your intention, you had the good intentions there.
But think of the numbers, right? If you're sitting there and you're fidgeting in your chair, and you know, sure, there's a lot of better things that could come out of my mouth. Let the fucking gook sit down. I don't know. Like all I said was Chinese, and they were really insulted. But you know what? I guess look, if someone called me like I'm Irish, no offense, Stu, but if they call me English, I don't know if I get that mad, but you know. I apologize. Wherever those Chinese people are, I'm sure they don't use listen to Cave Crew Radio, but I apologize. I didn't mean it in a weird way. I like your food. I order takeout all the time. I get a number 6.
Yeah. Oh, DK not good person.
Yeah.
He made fun of her. We give him bag puffery.
It was almost like a punch in the face. I'm not kidding you. We are not Chinese. Oh, fuck. Sorry. Let me go get. My phone's in the car. I don't have time to Google your particular eye set and skin color. You could be Mongolian for all I know.
Oh.
Anyway, my apologies to the Chinese people. And that's the sole reason I wanted to play the game, is just to prove how confused I was.
So what's it going to be next week?
Next week, if you want, we can do Negroes. We can do black people.
How about let the white man sit down?
Or Stu says, let the coloreds. We're going to pick the coloreds.
I don't think I ever heard
my
that.
God. Stu literally brought it back to the 1950s. Holy shit.
Anyway, I do apologize still to this minute, I do not know, because even looking at all those pictures, you still look fucking Chinese to me.
What you should do is print it out of you and keep them with you. Just keep the photos as reference.
Do I need to show you the photos again? You guys were wrong 80% of
postcards. Keep it with you, and you can have them down, and then just put them sort of, next to their faces.
I don't see them that often. I'm not counting. I'm not counting cards in blackjack right now. Okay,
yeah, some little tourist information there. Hello in Chinese, Cantonese. Huh?
Yes.
And where was this?
This was at like what we call the Carousel of Nations. So it's an event where you go, and this was at the Scottish one.
Anti-racist campaign thing.
No, basically. There was only us.
DK turns up.
Only us Celtics like to listen to bagpipes and watch the guys in the checkered skirts. You got to be from Stu's part of the world to appreciate that. And then could you imagine? Let the Mandarin people sit down. We're not Mandarin. We're Cantonese. We're from fucking Hong Kong. We're on our own.
But that just goes to show how human we all are, though, really, because all this racist thing is nuts, isn't it? Because you can.
I wasn't being racist. I was trying to give someone a fucking chair.
I'm not trying to cover up your racism. I'm
not Archie Bunker, for fuck's sakes.
Can I tell you how much I love well-rested vacationing Stu?
Oh, he's the best.
All I'm saying is, it's just how this whole racism thing can get out of hand, because just by you saying someone is Chinese or your racist son,
my son didn't do shit.
No.
Anyway, look. I picked on the Orientals. I picked on the transgenders. I admit I've gone off the edge. I'm standing on it.
And I'd just like to say I had a lovely Chinese meal for my dinner tonight, and it was fantastic. Although I'm very thirsty afterwards.
And why is there not Vietnamese food or
well, there is. There is. In London, we've got every food. We're a big melting pot, apparently. We've got everything here.
And when you look at the Chinese writing, how do you tell if it's Filipino or Vietnamese or whatever?
Well, because Filipino, you generally write in Philippines, and Chinese write in Chinese.
And what exactly does Philippines writing look like?
Well, we actually mentioned this in a Chinese place tonight, because when we ordered our Chinese, we said, oh, look, like it's on the computer, it's in Chinese and in English. And she said, yes, that's because the people in the kitchen don't speak English. And we said, well, that's strange because they're living in England. But the actual writing is like each, I don't know what it is, a letter or sentence, whatever they write. It's like an art form, isn't it? It's like a picture, each word.
It's not an art form. It's people that were trying to draw the letter A and they were shaking so much because of the sake, they drew lines all over the place. It's like going into a caveman's fucking cave and reading hieroglyphics.
So is that how Michael J. Fawkes writes now?
Oh, shit. I guess he's really sick, eh? Poor guy. He's dragging a foot now. He's like Boris Karloff.
Is he really?
No, that's bad. I shouldn't say that. I love Michael J. Fox.
I think you should check him out on the Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's a few years back, but it was very good when he was on there.
And here's another thing, because we got no time to go through any more stories. We'll carry them on to next week. But what is it with people getting Chinese writing tattooed on them? Talking about tattoos. We were talking about tattoos earlier.
Sweet and sour chicken.
Like, I wonder what those things say when they have two things. Egyptian writing and Chinese writing are both very popular in tattoos.
My brother's got Chinese writing on him, on his back or something, you know.
Probably for Guy Fawkes Day.
He hasn't got a clue what it means.
Well, that's awesome. You're walking around with words, and then you wonder why all the Chinese people are laughing at you when you walk down London Square.
Right. Do you know I went out with a Chinese girl here?
That's the one with one leg.
No. That was
the Aborigine.
Aborigine, yeah.
But the Chinese girl wrote me a note once, and it was in Chinese, just like at the bottom of the card. She just wrote a few words in Chinese, and I took it to my local Chinese takeaway to get it. But I did. That's honest truth. That's honest truth.
Let me get some pork fried rice, and can you translate this for me?
I did.
It's like Indiana Jones would go to like Oxford or Cambridge, but Choo Choo Stu went to his local Chinese takeaway. Hey, Mr. Yang. What the fuck does this say?
Yeah, I promise you that is it. God's honest truth. I took it to Wing Hua Chinese takeaway to get it translated. I did order something, I must admit. I did order something, so I wasn't getting a free service. You know?
Well, he wouldn't have translated. Now, how do you know he was telling you the truth?
I don't. And I can't even remember what it was. It was something about love, obviously. Yeah.
Maybe she was saying, oh, you have small pee-pee.
Yeah, maybe she was. I don't know.
I've never had a note and taken it to my local Chinese takeaway. I fucking love this show. I could care less if any of you are enjoying this because I am. I mean, I have 20 stories we haven't gotten to tonight. We'll get to them eventually, but this is so fascinating with Guy Fuck and Wing Hua. All right, kids, we got a full chat room out there tonight. I'm going to give you a heads up while we're still bantering back and forth. Get your title for tonight's show ready. We're going to do it in about 60 seconds. So, Stu, you truly are the most interesting man on the planet. And I agree with the Big B. You are much more fun when you're on vacation. I'm going to send you a note. I'm going to go on Google tonight, and I'm going to get something translated in Chinese, and I want you to take it to the local takeaway. And I want you to record it when he reads it.
Okay, I will. I'll do that.
Do a Facebook Live.
The goat every night. Shit. By the way, so we're gonna get Mama Kate on the show soon here. Is she still retweeting you?
No, apparently it was only 72 hours or something like that. So I was a bit lax on it, I must admit. But she had to retreat me for a certain amount of time. I thought it was 2 weeks, but it was only 70 hours.
All right. Let's name the show, and we'll do this again next week. Very simply, I mean, Winghua took me to a whole nother place. But guys, I simply have written down, it's Guy Fawkes night. That's it. That's all I wrote down. Big B.
Along those same lines, I have the Guy Fawkes bonfires.
Okay, just writing down, guys. Sorry. Stu.
I've got fireworks and a Chinaman.
Fireworks and a Chinaman. In there we have Fawkes, you guys, and Winghua Fawkes, you, and Fawkes racists. So I think Fawkes is going to take the show. All right. Anybody? I am willing to move to the Guy Fawkes bonfires. I'm willing to move over to that one. I think Guy Fawkes steals the show. Choo-choo, are you willing to, Ben?
I like Winghua Fawkes you from the chat room.
Winghua Fawkes you. That's not bad either. All right. Chat room, you can vote to do a tiebreaker. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it to Sir Big B.
Are they voting or?
Thank you is what we got. So thank you for voting for Winghua Fawkes you. I like that too.
I was leaning towards my own, which was the Guy Fawkes bonfires, but I have to agree. Winghua Fawkes you.
All right.
Perfect.
I need, please, Stu, if you could send me the proper spelling of Fawkes.
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 Kes.
Kes. Winghua Fawkes you. And producer L also voted for that. So okay, there you have it, folks. I've got to queue up the close of the damn show. Yeah, Cave Crew Radio every Thursday night live, 9 p.m. Eastern. CaveCrewRadio.com. All the past shows are on there too. Be sure to check out Big B on Metal Thunder Radio Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock, right here on CaveCrewRadio.com. And I do believe the Pod Train has a new episode out as well with some Americana music. So look up the Pod Train on wherever good podcasts can be found. And we, friends, we'll see you later. Thank you for joining us for Winghua Fawkes you. Keep the people guessing.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!